Amy and I were a young couple. We'd been married for 4 years, had 2 children, and we had really, just by the grace of God, come through a nearly impossible season of marriage where it did not look like we'd be able to make it no matter what. But when God carried us through that, He showed us that He had a mission for us. We felt it, carried it, talked about it. We said there's got to be some reason why we're still going to be together and we're going to go on. There's a mission out there. We just don't know what it is. So until then, when things are put in front of us, we're going to say yes. One day, I just got a text from my boss. He's also a very good friend of mine, and it said simply, "Thinking about doing a mission trip to Haiti in February. Are you interested?" And I remember looking at my phone and thinking, no, I have no money.
That's funny. You want me to do what?
I can't afford the gas to get home.
Well, sure.
Let alone go to Haiti on a mission trip. But
also, I have no idea where Haiti is.
Yeah, so I said, you know what, I'll check with Amy when I get home and I'll let you know. And so I drove home and I mentioned it to Amy. I remember it. She was standing in the bathroom and she didn't even think about it. She's like, yep, we're in. Yeah, so it was a short trip. There was a broken vehicle there that I went to work on. Fixed that, then fixed a tractor. And then it was just like, okay, I have these projects done. What else can I do? They had a building renovation or an addition going on. And I just went to work laying tile in a new section of the building that would be a new child home, all by myself, setting tiles and grouting. And it was at that moment that God really got my attention and kind of spoke to me and said, look at this family. There's a family living there, helping run the place. A pastor and his wife was a nurse. And they had 4 children, same ages as ours. And the message was pretty clear. It was, look at this family. You've convinced yourself that it's impossible. And I remember just like it took the breath out of my lung. None of the dots had connected for me until that point. Like, wow, I just assumed that, okay, I've got this mission calling on my life, but clearly God's not gonna call us to something like that at this stage when we've got 4 little kids and everything else. It literally doesn't make sense. But here's an example, and He's like, look at it. After coming home from that trip, I was in turmoil. I was wrestling, exhausted, and didn't want anything to do with it. It took about a month and a half, and I finally gave up. I didn't want to keep fighting and feeling like a crazy person, so I had to Google who was in charge of this organization. And I found that out, and I sent him an email, and I just typed out everything, like, here's what I've been through, here's how it went down, and here's what we're feeling. I think it's completely crazy, but I ended that email with, at least tell me you don't think I'm crazy. 2 weeks after I sent the email, the couple that was down in Haiti approached the director and basically said, hey, we really feel like God is leading us in a different direction to pursue midwifery, and we're going to have to go to the States, and we're going to look to move out between August and April. And when those things lined up, I just really couldn't fight it anymore. I said, all right, I'm in 100%. This is a done deal. So we knew we were going, and it was like setting a timer. It was an 8-month timer from the time that we had first ever been to Haiti to the time that we lived there was 8 months.
Yeah.
So that day, it was just like, I give up. God, I'll do it. I'm more scared to stay than I am to go. This is gonna be home.
Yep.
And that's what we told our kids, and that's what we did. So the day that we arrived in Haiti,
it was home.
This is home. By August 2018, things had gotten to a point that it was just too unsettled. It was too unsafe. Things were crazy, and Amy and the girls had to leave, I stuck around for about another month and helped kind of fix some of the issues that I could handle on a local level with the people. And then I joined my family here in the States, and we prayed and fasted, and we're looking to God for direction, knowing that, we're not done with whatever God has for us. We're not done with it. And we put together our plans, for the next season, because we told our kids, like, this is home until God specifically calls us somewhere else. This is home. And sometimes home is really hard, and we had been through a lot, but God's gonna be good. He's gonna be there for us regardless. And once we got all that together and we had our tickets to go back, that was when Lee called me right beforehand and said, "Hey, I really think we need to talk."
God changed our direction.
And God changed the plan. I think it was just one last test of obedience. Like, even though things look incredibly difficult where you've been, would you go back if I haven't spoken to you? And the answer was yes. And I think once we gave that yes and put it together, he was like, okay, but here's actually what we're going to do. Basically, I went from mechanic to missionary to now I'm the pastor of missions at Radiant Church. And with the experiences that I've had, now I travel and I build relationship and we work with missionaries that Radiant supports around the world. God will put a little thing in front, and we say yes.
He doesn't
and then
ask
there's another
you for the big picture. He doesn't want you to know the big picture. He just wants you to say yes to the thing that's in front of you.